as it feeds off the toxins that my stepfather consumes. Is this life? Is this all we humans are good for? To give pain to others with no sense of repercussions, only to entertain and be consumed by these entities? Or will this end? My hand then shook slowly as I put my finger on the trigger. Welcome to the Decadence of Umbra. Hello everyone, it's Fernando Cruz. Hi. Well, hello there. I'm sorry. It's been a minute and I apologize for the sudden hold on my stories, which I hope you all understand. I just thought I'd speak to you all personally before I start with the next story. First off, I'd like to say thank you to you all personally for your patience and for your support on this journey of storytelling. I love telling stories. I always have ever since I was a kid. But at some point, you come to a point where you have to rest. Because if you don't and juggle everything at one time, you burn out. And that's what I did. So I decided to take my time with each and every story because at the end of the day, I want to create good quality stories for you all. So I thank you all once again. Now, let's begin. Hello everyone, my name is Fernando de la Cruz, and I have a story to tell. Being born in a world of pain, a boy is trying his best to rid away his misery, but with no option, he decides to do the unthinkable, to depart from the shadow over his shoulder. Now, let's begin. It's like an emptiness that stays buried deep when all I ever wanted was to be seen. But with this dark shadow over me, it's like I'm chained to the reflection of my past, constantly making this hole in my chest grow, with its long, abnormal, stretched body hovering over me. Yet, as I look into the creature's bright, glowing eyes, I see no type of resemblance. So as of now, I call it the shadow over my shoulder, due to it always following me everywhere I go as it feeds me a sense of inferiority. No one else can see it but me, as if it is a building of my own imagination. Or am I just losing my mind? I can't even tell what's real and what's not anymore, or even how this all started. All I know is that it just appeared when I didn't ask for any of this, when all I do is give love. Yet at the end of the day, I end up with the shadow in my room, which is my own. Then one day, the shadow took shape, becoming my only friend, yet it wanted no one else to love me. It tells me it does it for my protection, almost like it only wants to keep me in my depression, which, as they say, is true, that misery loves company. After many years, I then normalized my new life of it being my only friend, because maybe it's right. Nobody loves me. I mean, look at my stepfather. All he does is beat me over and over, reminding me of the reason why I have no mother anymore. Then he sits back down, drinking himself away. It's because I was the virus that killed my mother at birth, when it wasn't even my fault. Why do you think I end up in the library all the time? It's because even though I read to myself, at least I know the pages won't beat me or hurt me. Unless you count a paper cut, of course. As I turn the pages, I notice one thing though. When I look into someone's eyes from afar, I seem to get a look. But not just any look, but a look of fear, as if the monster is within me. Like this girl that is doing it right now. Or can she see what I see? What are you looking at? I yelled at the girl, not knowing what the reason was, unless... Can she see it too? So I asked her the question of taboo. Do you see it too? She looks at me wondering what my issue was as I sat in the hall of the archives.
See what?
Said Trish.
I just wanted to see what was wrong.
Do I know you? Said Samuel.
Samuel, it's me, Trish.
I look at her eyes and wonder what it was that makes her want to talk to me. Doesn't she view me as a malignant? Yet as I look into her eyes, I discover her intentions are genuine. The creature behind me seems to be not pleased, yet allows her to speak to me, which I'm not sure why. Could it be that she's the one to set me free?
I see you all the time at school,
Said Trish.
but for some reason you always seem to disappear. I just wanted to see if you were okay, because I just find it so sad that you're always alone, Samuel.
I see her try to come closer to me, but as she does, I tell her to stop due to me knowing what happens when people come close. So what is the point? I'd rather swallow in my own pain than to know that no matter what I do to get close to anyone, I just end up getting hurt, or they end up dead. So out of protection for Trish, I yelled at her to step back. Stop, please don't come any closer.
Why? I'm just trying to help.
Said Trish. It feels strange to have someone after 14 years of my life wanting to try to be near me. Aren't I a parasite? One more step, and it's all over, for the creature will consume her to make her fall to the floor, or the rejection of her walking away, as if she is a puppet on strings from my heart, making me fall deeper within. Please, no more, just step back, please. I begged her as the creature breathes heavier behind me, waiting to cause harm once more, with its razor-sharp fingers ready to touch her forehead, draining her, taking the nourishing water and turning her into a deserted stone, to turn into dust from the winds of the halls. She then dived toward me, wrapping her warm aura around me, making me feel something that I felt so afraid to let in. Yet I pushed her away, and the creature then grabbed her. As I predicted, she became consumed, yet I yelled for it to stop. The shadow then puts the girl down as she looks at me with eyes of terror, as if I'm the perisher. The librarian then walks in, angered at me, and kicks me out, where I'll be no longer allowed at my safe haven for the rest of the summer. I was lost without the joy of the rough leather of the book covers laying in my hands. I then decided to find a new route to satisfy my mind by turning on the television. As I did, in an instant, my heart dropped from me seeing the forbidden, the unexplained drowning of Patricia. The girl who I thought I saved from the creature turned out to end up just like the rest, which was cursed to see the lands of Zion. How much longer do I have to deal with this? How much must I keep this all in when no one believes what is actually happening? I then got up and walked into my stepfather's living room, where he lies in his chair, drunk as always due to him not being happy with me still breathing. Maybe he too has a creature as damned as mine. But I chose to be different. I chose the one way to stop this cycle for good. Opening the living room closet, I see the 6-barrel Magnum. As I load bullet to bullet, I wonder to myself, is this the best thing to do? As I put the barrel to my head, I see my stepfather in his deep slumber, thinking if he would really miss me if I was gone. The creature then bends over to me, saying for me to stop, but I know why it wants me to stay alive. It needs to feed into its hunger for misery. But there's too much I have buried in the 3 chambers of my spirit and in my heart. I can't just sit back when I know the true reason behind everything. I then unlock the safety of the gun slowly, and I see the creature behind my father unveil itself as it feeds off the toxins that my stepfather consumes. Is this life? Is this all we humans are good for? To give pain to others with no sense of repercussions, only to entertain and be consumed by these entities? Or will this end? My hand then shook slowly as I put my finger on the trigger. I saw the shadow over my shoulder stop the bullet. I then looked into its eyes, and for the very first time in years, I could finally see what the creature was. And that creature was Patricia? I mean, Trish? Wait, how is this possible?
Like I said, I see you, but you always seem to disappear.
Who or what are you?
I'm your friend, who only wants to help. I've been watching you for a very long time, Samuel.
Watching me? If you're my friend, why did you get me kicked out of the one place that gives me peace from this inferno of a home?
Well, for one, did you not notice that you were the one who got kicked out? Yet there was not one mention of me?
I then thought to myself that she was right, and it explains why the darkness over my shoulder allowed her to talk to me. For the first time in my entire life, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders after one snap. The air had a scent of peace and a sweet smell of cinnamon pastries. In short, I felt at peace. What is going to happen? I don't want this to end. As I turned to see if the shadow was angry, the shadow over my shoulder was gone. All I could see in front of me was me and her. But what is she? Her hands then held me, with her voice sounding like the mother I never met. As she held me in her arms, feeling like the beginning of the spring meadows, with each petal of the flowers touching me softly against my cheek, making me feel that everything will be okay. She then grabs my hand and raises it up as our fingers entwine, creating a world of collectedness. What are you? I said to the girl, and she replied softly,
I am many names, but you can call me Serenity. And in a moment, everything will be alright.
I gave her a sense of trust because her aura felt so pure. As I looked into her eyes, she then winked, and I realized that my hand was in the air, where I heard the sounds of heavy dripping on the floor. I then looked down to see that where I was before was nothing but an illusion. Yet before my eyes were the eyes of my stepfather, where he laid lifelessly. I gripped my hand and realized that the gun was in my hand, where I shot my stepfather repeatedly. But how could it have been me when I didn't do anything? I then heard a growl from the shadows, where it laughed at me, revealing who it was. Serenity?
You humans are so easy to manipulate. Just small animals waiting for us to control and satisfy our hunger. Do you really think anyone will ever love you? No one would. I mean, just look at you and what you've done to your stepfather, Samuel.
But that was not me. It was you.
Did I really, or was it always there, Samuel? Like I said, I've been watching you for a very long time, over your shoulder, and I see the things you read, the thoughts that ran through your head, how you avoid people to what you say that don't see you, but they do. They really do, Samuel. Why do you think they look at you in fear? They don't see me. They see the darkness in your eyes. Yet, I'm the monster, right? I told you, I was trying to protect you, yet you chose to defy me. And now look where that got you. So I created this so-called friend Patricia, or Trish, just to see if you could be accepted. But as you can see, everything you say or do, it just causes pain. Especially in this culture, anything is painful, right? Which is delicious.
She then laughed at me as I stood in the pool of my stepfather's blood from my own bare hands, pulling the trigger from each lead solid bullet entering into his flesh. I stood still as she walked closer to me, realizing it was right. I am a monster. I was the shadow in my room. I was the one reading the books about torture and filled with so much hatred of my stepfather, making me the dark figure of my environment. So as I looked down at the gun in my hand, I then took the Magnum, where Serenity came before me to prevent me from causing infliction. But it was too late. Falling to the floor, I then looked into my stepfather's eyes, pleading for forgiveness for all that I've hurt. Where I saw Serenity cry before me in tears of hysteria. The vision before me then becomes a blur, where I see it come closer to me as it consumes the toxins of my sins within my veins, where I then saw nothing but darkness. The Shadow Over My Shoulder was written and narrated by yours truly. But I do ask this, what exactly is Serenity? I would love to hear your thoughts and theories. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of when the next story unveils itself. from the Decadence of Umbra. But until next time, ta-ta for now.